In this eye-opening video, we'll embark on a journey to uncover the dark underbelly of Australia's electronic waste crisis. With shocking statistics, we'll reveal the staggering scale of the problem, the devastating environmental and health consequences, and the urgent actions needed to avert a looming catastrophe. Brace yourself for a gripping expose that will change the way you think about your electronic devices and the toxic legacy they leave behind. According to the Global E-Waste Monitor 2020, Australia's per capita e-waste generation is among the highest in the world, with over 21 kilo per person in 2022. The Department of Agriculture, Water and the Environment reports that the nation's total e-waste reached a staggering 554,000 tonnes in 2022, a 30% increase from 2017. Shockingly, the Australian Bureau of Statistics projects that e-waste volumes could surge 35% by 2030, reaching 700,000 tonnes annually. The Australian Council of Recycling attributes this rapid growth to increasing consumption, shorter product lifespans, and limited recycling. As Planet Ark explains, e-waste includes a wide range of discarded electronics, from smartphones and laptops to TVs and home appliances. The World Health Organization warns that e-waste contains a cocktail of toxic substances, including lead, mercury, cadmium, and flame retardants. The National Health and Medical Research Council states that lead exposure can cause neurological damage, learning disabilities, and reproductive harm. The Australian Academy of Science emphasises that mercury, a potent neurotoxin, can impair brain development and damage the nervous system. Safe Work Australia classifies cadmium as a carcinogen that can accumulate in the body, causing kidney damage and bone disorders. Environmental Health Perspectives links flame retardants, used in electronics to prevent fires, to cancer, developmental disorders, and hormonal disruption. Greenpeace warns that when e-waste is improperly disposed of, these toxins leach into soil and groundwater, contaminating the environment and endangering human health. The National Waste Report 2020 reveals that Australia's e-waste recycling rate is abysmal, with only 16% properly recycled in 2021. The Basel Action Network exposes that the majority of e-waste ends up in landfills or is exported to developing countries with lax environmental regulations. CSIRO warns that in landfills, toxic chemicals from e-waste seep into the ground, contaminating soil and water sources. The Australian Institute of Criminology reports that improper e-waste recycling, often involving burning or acid baths, releases toxic fumes into the air. The World Wildlife Fund explains that these pollutants bioaccumulate in the food chain, harming wildlife and ultimately reaching humans. The Australian Conservation Foundation reveals that e-waste toxins have contaminated once pristine habitats, from the Great Barrier Reef to the Murray-Darling Basin. The Australian Academy of Science emphasises that the long-term effects of e-waste pollution on ecosystems and biodiversity are still being uncovered. The Australian Institute of Health and Welfare reports that communities near e-waste dumping grounds and recycling facilities face severe health risks. The Lancet Planetary Health links exposure to e-waste toxins to a range of health problems, including cancer, respiratory illnesses, and developmental disorders. UNICEF warns that children are particularly vulnerable, with exposure leading to learning disabilities, behavioural problems, and physical deformities. The International Labour Organization reveals that in developing countries, workers in the informal e-waste recycling sector often lack protective equipment and are directly exposed to toxic substances. The World Health Organization emphasises that the health consequences of e-waste extend far beyond those directly involved, as toxins accumulate in the food chain and affect entire populations. The National Waste Policy Action Plan calls for urgent government action, including stringent e-waste landfill bans, expanded recycling targets, and investment in proper recycling infrastructure. The Product Stewardship Act 2011 demands that extended producer responsibility laws hold electronics manufacturers accountable for the entire life cycle of their products. Choice emphasises that consumers have a crucial role to play by choosing long-lasting, repairable products and properly recycling their e-waste. The Ellen MacArthur Foundation highlights innovative solutions, such as modular designs and closed-loop recycling that can help minimise e-waste and conserve resources. The Australian Education for Sustainability Alliance stresses that education and awareness campaigns are essential to shift public attitudes and behaviours around electronics consumption and disposal. The Global E-Waste Monitor 2020 suggests that Australia has the opportunity to become a global leader in responsible e-waste management, setting an example for other nations to follow. The e-waste crisis in Australia is a ticking time bomb that threatens our environment, our health, and our future. But amidst the toxic tide of discarded electronics, there is hope. By confronting this challenge head-on, we can protect our precious ecosystems, safeguard public health, and build a more sustainable world for generations to come. The time for action is now. Let's work together to solve the e-waste crisis before it's too late. As consumers, we have the power to make a difference with every electronic device we purchase, use, and discard. By making informed choices and supporting responsible e-waste management, we can all be part of the solution. The future of our planet depends on it. Properly recycle your e-waste by taking it to a certified e-waste recycling facility or participating in a manufacturer's take-back program. Choose products that are designed for longevity, repairability, and recyclability. Support businesses and brands that prioritize sustainable electronics production and responsible e-waste management. Educate yourself and others about the e-waste crisis and the importance of responsible electronics consumption and disposal. Advocate for stronger e-waste regulations and extended producer responsibility laws at the local, state, and national levels. Together, we can turn the tide on the e-waste apocalypse and create a cleaner, greener future for all. So let's start today.